Good morning to you. Yes, I'm talking to you. So you have stopped the scroll because now you are wondering if that diet is making you sick, if that diet is making you miserable, if that diet is sucking your energy. Maybe that diet is the reason you can't get rid of the fat that's around the middle section and that spare tire. Maybe that diet is making the symptoms of your illness or undiagnosed illness or whatever it is worse. Yes, that can happen. What is good for you might make me miserable. What underlying illness you have could be worse by doing some sort of specific diet that's worked for thousands and thousands of people, but might actually be counteracting what you need for your body. Case in point. So, as you know, I've been talking about like the gut health and all of that, scientific crap. But in reality, I have a small intestine bacterial overgrowth, and I have 2 parasites, and I had a kidney infection. So to treat the parasite and that side of things, and to treat the small intestine bacterial overgrowth, there weren't a lot of overlying foods that I could eat that would make me feel better. So sometimes if you are sitting in symptom after symptom and diagnosis after diagnosis, you have to pick which one to treat first. Or maybe you don't have an underlying illness that you know of, and you have just tried, let's say, the ketogenic diet, which is all the craze right now, because for most people it works great. You drop fat so fast, you start to feel better, you start to get energized after you hit that keto flu wall, you get past that and everything is great. However, if you have an underlying hormonal imbalance, or you are a woman, you could end up actually tanking your sex drive, tanking your sex hormones, and a whole bunch of other nasty side effects can come if you keep yourself on that high fat, super low carb, low protein diet for long term. You could do long term damage to you. For the ketogenic diet, like for me, it did some long term damage that I am still trying to fix because I had an underlying condition that couldn't handle my actual fat intake being that 70% that the ketogenic diet wants. So it did actually make me sicker. It actually made me have a whole bunch of new symptoms that I had no idea were coming from eating so healthy and doing something that worked for so many people. So what it's really important to understand is that these diets don't work for everyone. You could get short-term results. You could get short-term success. But in the end, it could cause damage that might not show up immediately, but might show up down the line. So I think of the word diet, and first it makes me cringe. It makes me just want to go and bury my head in the sand because diets don't work. However, there is a time and a place for diets. And there's a time and a place for diets to heal your body. But in the end, you should not stay on a diet long term, because it affects more than just what's going in your pie hole. It affects everything in your life. It affects social situations. It affects your relationships with people. And I know you might turn me off right there because you're like, how does my food affect my relationships? It affects it in many ways because what you're putting in your mouth is changing it affects the way your brain functions. So if you're giving yourself things that make you feel depressed and unhappy and bloated and fluffy, that's going to affect things. That's going to affect the way you feel about yourself. So once you start feeling those crappy feelings about yourself, it's hard to make other people feel good about them or be in a two-party relationship because you are self-sabotaging inside. And that could look something like, okay, I've gone on this diet and I'm focused on the number on the scale and now I don't want to put a bathing suit on, yet I have a vacation scheduled to the beach. So you and your partner are going on this vacation to the beach, but now you're uncomfortable in a swimwear. that's going to affect your vacation. That's going to affect how you interact with your partner intimately. That's going to affect a lot of things. So your diet does affect your mental state. Also, foods that you put in your body could be causing, depression, anxiety, stomach upset, which again could affect the social aspect of your life. So it is very important to understand that the diet that you're on could be destroying your potential of an amazing, beautiful life. Diets don't work not just because they're normally these roller coasters, which is really unhealthy for your body. They don't work because they're not sustainable long term, and you shouldn't be doing the same thing all the time. Your body is a living being. You need to flux with things. You need to flux with the seasons. You need to think about the things that actually work for your body. So if you're looking for short-term, weight loss success, I am not your girl. I can help you get there, but then I'm going to take you off that short-term diet and be like, now you don't get to do that. Now we need to find a diet, lifestyle, a fueling process that is manageable. So I just got this whole diagnosis with this SIBO, which is small intestine bacteria overgrowth. I'm going to call it SIBO from now on in this video. And all of a sudden, I went into this self-destruct mode because I have some vacations planned. And I'm like, holy crap, there is no way to eat out between the AIP diet and the SIBO specific, which is a low FODMAP diet. There's nothing left that I can eat. I was terrified about having to be gone for 10 days on a vacation that my husband and I are looking forward to because I didn't know what I was going to eat. I was so fearful that I almost called the airline and the hotels and canceled our trip. And that's when the diets become so restrictive that you give up parts of your life. You let the food dictate whether or not you go do things that you enjoy. As soon as I was able to, again, it's a choice, to flip my reaction to having to be on these, hey, I can pack a cooler of random things that I can eat when there aren't things available that fit my specific medical diet needs right now. And then it started getting easier and easier, and my whole thought pattern started to shift to, I have a choice. I can choose to make these diagnoses my life and give up a lot of things like going on this vacation because I am limited in what I can eat. Or I can say, screw you, I'm still going on vacation illness. I'm still doing my thing. I'm still going to live my life. I'm still going to fuel my body. I'm just going to do it in different ways. So as soon as you make that shift, which is really hard when you are stuck in your diagnosis, when you are stuck in your symptoms, and when you are stuck in your thoughts of your illness, it's really important to make that choice, to make that shift. The shift in just because I have XYZ illness, or just because I have to follow a specific diet because right now medically I need to do that, you don't have to let that run your life. Run your life and let your illness and your symptoms be part of it. Do the things you love, because as soon as you start putting that out and putting out all that change of thought into the, I can still live my life, I can still do my things, then all of a sudden you draw back more good things, and guess what? Your symptoms and your illness doesn't get to be the front runner in your life. It gets to be up in the nosebleeds of watching your life story. Does that mean that symptoms and crap is not going to come up? No. I have not perfected that. If I had that magic wand, I don't even know. I would have freaking an abundance of everything in my life if I had that magic wand. I have managed my illnesses enough to where, yes, sometimes there's a hiccup and I end up in the ER like I did a few weeks ago. But I went to the ER in pain and miserable and scared out of my freaking mind. But I looked at it differently while I was sitting in that bed. While I was sitting in that bed, I was still making jokes. I was still in pain, but through the tears of the pain, I was still making poop jokes. Because poop jokes are great when you're chronically ill, because there's always some sort of a poop story to tell someone that's going to make them laugh. Think about it. Do I have you laughing at a poop story right now? I might. But the the whole point that I'm trying to drive home is that you do have a choice. You don't have a choice to have your illness most of the time. You don't have a choice of whether your symptoms are going to rear their nasty head when you're out and about, or whether what's going to come up. You can't control that. The things you can control is how you react to those things. There have been days with IBS that you eat, I know this, IBD from my own, stories. Poop story. Here's poop story for you. You're out at a really nice meal, or let's say, I remember having dinner with my boyfriend's family for the first time ever and meeting them. Halfway through dinner, I had to excuse myself because I was about to poop myself. No joke, I turned sweaty and it was like I couldn't hold it anymore. If I farted, it would be over. Completely over. So I had to run to their bathroom. And this is in the middle of meeting someone's parents for the first time. Well, what I didn't know at the time is they had fed me a whole bunch of stuff that my body didn't like and that irritated the IBS symptoms. But I could have been super embarrassed about it. But I came back and afterwards I, kind of pushed food around because I knew I didn't want that to happen again. But they accepted that and they asked me hey, are you okay? What's going on? And I'm actually, to be honest, I know I shouldn't have eaten this because I have a intolerance to these things. I'm trying to make a good impression. Here's what I am. And as soon as we were able to kind of laugh out the situation, I still think about it to this day, oh my gosh, so embarrassing. But at that moment, I learned to accept my symptoms. I learned to be boisterous about the things I needed and couldn't have. And I was able to share this with people that I had no, meeting my boyfriend's parents for the first time, for God, for heaven's sakes, hello, you don't want to have explosive diarrhea on the first dinner that his parents are trying to feed you to get to know you. That doesn't work. So the story and point is, I could have chosen to react and been, gone to the bathroom and slid out the front door and been nope, I can't handle this. But instead, I went back, they asked me if I was okay, and it became a poop conversation at dinner. Which is not the best place to talk about poop, but hey, it made light of a situation that could have not gone as well as it did. And that's what I'm saying, is you can choose the reactions to your symptoms and your illness. You can choose to react to your symptoms and your illness by giving up your life and letting it run your life. Or you can say, screw you, whatever it is. I'm going to live my life and let you get in the way as minimally as possible. And then once you get to that point, you can start building and changing some of the lifestyle changes and the mindset changes and your food choices so that you can actually, improve your symptoms and your illness so that you can get out there fully charged and live your life fully. So that's part of the law of attraction, and great timing, right? Because it's Tuesday and it's Law of Attraction card day. So today's card for the Law of Attraction card day is going to be this one. I am a magnet attracting onto myself. Without exception, what you give thought to, wanted or unwanted, you begin to invite that into your experience. See yourself as a magnet attracting onto you as the essence of whatever you are thinking and feeling. For example, if you feel poor, you cannot attract prosperity. It defies the law. So that's the same thing with your illness. It defies the law. It defies whatever it is, that you are a magnet to what you are thinking. So if you get stuck in your symptoms, you get stuck in your illness, you are going to get more of that negative stuff that comes from those symptoms and illness. But if you shift your thoughts to hey, this is a crappy situation, but I'm going to make the best of it, then that's what's going to come back to you. And that's what I have for you today. So I hope you get out there and make this Tuesday freaking amazing, because you deserve amazing, because you're a freaking rock star. Whether you have an illness, a diagnosis, 20 diagnoses, an undiagnosed thing where you think you're crazy because you have all these symptoms but nobody can find anything, got some solutions for you for that too. If you have questions, let me know. But get out there and live your life. Live your life. Your illness is not your life. Your diagnosis is not your life. Your symptoms are not your life. Don't let them rule you, because you deserve to be out there doing the things you want to do. You deserve to be out partying. You deserve partying in whatever sense you think partying is. For me, that's like hanging out with friends and just relaxing and going for hikes and things like that. You know, your version of partying might be drinking it up and dancing on a bar. Good for you. I love that too, but I don't drink often. So, you know, it's just whatever it is that you need or want, that's what you need to focus on. If you want to be able to be social and not let your diet get in the way, don't let your diet get in the way and go out. If you need help figuring out what that looks like, hit me up. I'm always wrong direction here. jdragonette.com. Or, again, in this Facebook group, I'm here for you. If you want to join our Healthy Habits Party, woo! Making Healthy Habits Party? Yep, it's possible. I got you. You can go check out the Healthy Habits Party group. If you want a little bit more intimate setting where it's not open to the public, I'm here for you, because I know that you don't have to live as your symptoms. You don't have to live as your diagnosis, and you don't have to live as your undiagnosed issues. I'm living freaking proof. So you got this. I look forward to talking with you, and I will see you all soon. Have a most marvelous day. See you later, everyone.